there are different stages of bodhisattvahood. When we talk about bodhisattvahood, then bodhisattvahood means bodhisattva is one who is seeker, who is seeking or who is practicing certain disciplines and whose aim to attain Buddhahood. Okay, Buddhahood is the ultimate aim, the final aim, final goal of all disciplines. There are 10 stages of Tathagatahood, Bodhisattvahood. So they take vow that I will ascend all these stages and will reach to the ultimate stage of Buddhahood or Bodhisattvahood. Ultimate state or the 10th state is called Buddhahood, Tathagatahood, or you can give any other terms. Buddha says that in the spirit of these vows, Bodhisattva gradually ascend the stages to the 6th. Then he describes about the supernatural powers they gain because of their meditations and samadhis. So up to 6 stages, they are not supported by Buddha. They are not supported by the powers of Buddha, but their own practices. Okay. So the supports of the Buddhas is essential to reach the 10th stage. Without supports of Buddhas, one cannot reach that. That is not made possible. Okay. One cannot reach there with own efforts. Yeah, with own efforts, one can meet certain criteria. You can serve the criteria, one can compete for the qualifications. But after 6th stage, Buddhas or the Tathagatas, they take charge of their progress. Buddha says up to 6th stage, they are not supported by the powers of the Buddhas. They pass to their nirvana. Okay, 6 and enter into 7, then they are strengthened by the power of the Buddhas, and with that power, they gain more perfect insight. Okay, and that is theirs by reason of their advance in self-realization of noble wisdom. They re-examine the nature of the mind system, the evolutiveness of personality, and the part that grasping and attachment and habit energies. So they start looking at things, at the mysteries with new perspective, with new insight, with new mind. So till 6th, they are okay. But in 7th is more special. And that 7th stage is called Duram Gama, far going, Duram Gama. And supported by the sustaining power of Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas at this stage enter into the bliss of Samadhi, of perfect self, perfect tranquilization, perfect peace, tranquility. And at this stage, they are transported by emotions of love and compassion. And they remain ready always to serve the humanity, to serve the people, to help the seekers, true seekers. Okay, so there, one of vows is to emancipate the beings, to emancipate from the sufferings, to liberate from the sufferings, to liberate the people, all the beings. Not only human beings, but all beings, irrespective of species also. And they do not want to enter into nirvana. And Buddha says, in reality, the two are already nirvana. Though they don't want nirvana, but they are already nirvana, because in their emotions of love and compassion, there is no rising of discrimination. Henceforth, with them, discrimination no more takes place. And because of transcendental intelligence, only one conception is present, the promotion of the realization of noble wisdom. Insight comes from the womb of the Tathagatahood, and they enter into the task with spontaneity and radiance because it is of the self-nature of noble wisdom. This is called Bodhisattva's nirvana, the losing oneself into the bliss of perfect self-yielding. This is the seventh stage, this stage of far going. Okay. So in this stage, a bodhisattva is naturally into nirvana, and they're supported by Buddhas. You know, Buddha did not believe in God, but he believed in Buddhas. Buddhas are super almighty. A Buddha can do anything, any miracle. And if anyone is supported by such person, then that is supported by God himself. So he did not believe in God, but he believed in Buddha. So he believed Shiva as Buddha, Vishnu as Buddha, Brahma as Buddha. So Buddha is someone who has become one with God, and all the supernatural powers of God are present in Buddha. Okay. And the eighth stage Buddha talks is the stage of no recession, called achal. Achal is immovable. Up to this stage, because of the defilements upon the face of universal mind caused by the accumulation of habit energy, what we call samskara, since beginningless time, they accumulate. So they create defilements on the face of divine, universal mind or divine mind. You can give any term. See, Buddha uses universal mind or divine mind, but not God. So Buddha says, when you reach at eighth stage, okay, because of the defilements of habit energy, the mind system and all the pertains to it has been evolved and sustained. The mind system functions by the discrimination of an external and objective world, to which it became attached and by which it was perpetuated. Okay. So, but with the Buddhist Sattva's attainment of the eighth stage, there comes the turning about within his deepest consciousness. And what is turning about? From self-centered egoism to universal compassion for all beings. So this is called turning about, and that takes place at eighth stage. Then they are not self-centered, but they are selfless. They live for others. They have merged into universal compassion, or they have become an embodiment of universal compassion for all beings, and by which he attains perfect self-realization of noble wisdom. So this single virtue enables him for the perfect self-realization, not the imperfect, but perfect self-realization of noble wisdom. Noble wisdom, that is the ultimate wisdom. And then there is an instant cessation of the delusive activities of the whole mind system, Patanjali also defines yoga as cessation of mind, right? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha means yoga is cessation of mind. So when mind is ceased, then one is already in yoga. So here Buddha says that because of his selflessness, universal compassion for all beings, he attains perfect self-realization of noble wisdom because his mind is ceased, and the dancing of the waves of habit energy on the face of universal mind are forever stilled, revealing its own inherent quietness and solitude, the inconceivable oneness of the warm of the Tathagata. See how much they are evolved at only 8th stage. Then what about the 10th stage? This is why stage Bodhisattva becomes brilliant, becomes mighty, becomes divine.
Right.
And when they enter at this stage, then there is no more looking forward, outward, extroversion. They are not endured. They are not allured with sense minds or senses. They are not deviated with senses. Okay? No discrimination. No discrimination. No more grasping. No more attachment. No pride, egoism. no habit energy. Habit energy means samskar. And henceforth, there is only the inner experience of noble wisdom, which has been attained by entering into its perfect oneness. See, oneness. He emphasizes oneness, oneness, oneness. This is what is called Adwait.
Yeah.
So our name Adwait, belongs to this highest stage, oneness.
Okay.
Perfect oneness.
Ji.
Thus, he establishes himself at the 8th stage of no recession, and the Bodhisattva enters into the bliss of the 10 samadhis. But avoiding the path of the disciples and masters, so-called masters, who yielded themselves up to their entrancing bliss and who passed to their nirvanas, and supported by his vows and the transcendental intelligence, which now is his and being sustained by the power of the Buddha. See, Buddha emphasizes the power of the Buddhas. A Bodhisattva is sustained, he's supported, sustained, protected, always 24/7, without skipping of a fraction of a second. He's always supported by Buddha's sustaining power. So nothing wrong can happen with a Bodhisattva, nothing wrong. If he'll jump into fire, nothing wrong will happen. Some miracle may happen. Okay. But unless and until one reaches to this stage, one should not dare to jump into fire. So when you advance, then naturally supernatural powers start manifesting through you.
Right.
You yourself will amaze at your performances, but that will not create egoism in you. The more supernatural powers will arise and manifest, the more egoless you will become, if you are on right path. And that is beyond the understanding of philosophers. That is devoid of impurity. So that is 8th stage. And as long as the Bodhisattva had not passed this 7th stage, even though he had attained an intuitive understanding of the true meaning of life and its Maya-like nature, and as to how the mind carried on its discriminations and attachments, yet nevertheless the cherishing of the notions of these things had continued. And although he no longer experienced within himself any ardent desire for things, nor any impulse to grasp them yet, nevertheless the notions concerning them persisted and perfumed his efforts to practice the teachings of the Buddhas and to labor for the emancipation of all beings. Now in the 8th stage, even the notions have passed away, and all efforts and striving is seen to be unnecessary. The Bodhisattva's nirvana is perfect tranquilization. Okay. But it is not extinction or inertness. While there is an entire absence of discrimination and purpose, there is the freedom and spontaneity of potentiality that has come with the attainment and present acceptance of the truths of egolessness and imagelessness. See, present acceptance of the truths of egolessness and imagelessness. So this is the truth of everything, every being. And even the so-called disciples, so-called masters, do not have this clarity of truth, that things are egoless and imageless. Even me, even myself is egoless and imageless. When this clarity comes absolutely, perfectly in ourselves, then we are into the truths. So ultimate truth is perfect egoless, perfect imageless, perfect empty, perfect neat and clean. There is no any vestige into that. And Buddha says, when this acceptance of truths of egolessness and imagelessness comes, then there is perfect solitude. Not just closing eyes and sitting quietly, silently, and we are in solitude. That is solitude, but superficial and transient. But perfect solitude comes when we accept presently the truths of egolessness and imagelessness. And then noble wisdom is naturally experienced, peaceful with the serenity of perfect love. So there is blend of wisdom and love, perfect balance between wisdom and love. So eighth stage is marvelous. This is very interesting. Entering in eighth stage is like transition from mortal body to transcendental body. Transcendental body.
Okay.
So you enter into transcendental body, which is away, which is not connected with mortal body. So though your mortal body dies, but your transcendental body continues to exist. And now this bodhisattva is free from the control of mortal mind. And this transformation is called inconceivable transformation death. Achintya parinam chuti. Try to understand these terms and the meaning of these words, okay? With understanding only, you'll rise, you'll ascend. Okay, so in Raja Yoga, this is Raja Yoga, what you are studying. In Raja Yoga, understanding also only matters, okay? And with that realization, he finds himself amply endowed with all the Tathagata's powers. Okay. When he reaches this stage, then he becomes one with the universal mind of Tathagatahood. He becomes one with that. And this is what is called yoga. And from which realization, there will be no recession. And with that realization, he finds himself amply endowed with all the Tathagata's powers, psychic faculties, and self-mastery. And just as the good earth is the support of all beings in the world of desire, so the Tathagatas become the support of all beings in the transcendental world of no form. So first 7 stages of Bodhisattva were in the realm of mind, and the 8th stage, while transcending mind was still in touch with it, but in the 9th stage of the transcendental intelligence, transcendental intelligence is termed as sadhumati. Transcendental means sadhu, and intelligence means mati. So 9th stage is called sadhumati. And at this stage, by reason of his perfect intelligence and insight into the imagelessness of divine mind, which he had attained by self-realization of noble wisdom, he is in the realm of Tathagatahood. Okay, so 9th stage is a realm of Tathagatahood. And gradually, the Bodhisattva will realize his Tathagat nature and the possession of all its powers and psychic faculties, self-mastery, loving compassion, and skillful means. And by means of them, they will enter into all the Buddha lands. Making use of these new powers, they use these new powers, the Buddha bodies and personalities, for the sake of benefiting others. So this is like in former mental life, imagination had risen from relative knowledge. So now skillful means rise spontaneously from transcendental intelligence. So whatever you would like to do, he will think and things will happen. He become endowed with that power, that he will think and things will happen, manifest.
Okay.
It is like the magical gem that reflects instantaneously appropriate responses to one's wishes. The Bodhisattva passes over to all the assemblages of the Buddhas and listens to them as they discourse on them, on the dream-like nature of all things, and concerning the truths that transcend all notions of being and non-being, that they have no relation to birth and death. As they discourse on noble wisdom, that is far beyond the mental capacity of disciples and masters, he will attain 100,000 samadhis. Indeed, 100,000 nyutas of kotis of samadhis. And in that state, he will instantly pass from the Buddha land to another, one Buddha land to another Buddha land, paying homage to all the Buddhas, being born into all the celestial mansions, manifesting Buddha bodies, and himself discoursing on the triple treasure to lesser bodhisattvas that they too may partake of the fruits of self-realization of noble wisdom. So they keep rising and teach to their juniors, to their junior bodhisattvas, the bodhisattvas who are still on the lower levels. Thus, passing beyond the last stage of bodhisattvahood, he becomes a Tathagata himself, endowed with all the freedom of the Dharmakaya. So he gains the freedom of Dharmakaya. The 10th stage belongs to Tathagatas. Here the Bodhisattva will find himself seated upon a lotus-like throne in a splendid jewel-adorned palace and surrounded by the Bodhisattvas of equal rank. Buddhas from all the Buddha lands will gather about him, and with their pure and fragrant hands resting on his forehead will give him an ordination and recognition as one of themselves. Then they will assign him a Buddha land that he may possess and perfect as his own. So this happens with everybody. You may have heard that when Rama left his body, he went to his land. And his land is called Saket. Similarly, Krishna's land is called Golok. So similarly, when one becomes Buddha, then the nature, the existence allots, even all the Buddhas allot him or her a special Buddha land, Loka, and that is his, that is her. Yeah, they assign him, her a Buddha land that he may possess and perfect as his own, which is the ultimate stage, is called the great truth cloud, Dharma Megha. Dharma Megha is the ultimate 10th. As per Patanjali, as per Buddha, and as per all the truly enlightened masters. And that 10th stage, Dharma Megha stage, is inconceivable, inscrutable. Only the Tathagatas can realize its perfect imagelessness and oneness and solitude. And it is Maheshwara. Maheshwara. It is one of Shiva's names. So Maheshwara is the state. When you enter the 10th stage, then you become Maheshwar. And when you reach the 10th stage, then you become Shiva. You become Maheshwara. And that is also called the radiant land, the pure land, the land of far distances, surrounding and surpassing the lesser worlds of forms and desires. And there, a bodhisattva finds himself at one moment. Its rays of noble wisdom, which is the self-nature of the Tathagatas, many-colored, entrancing, auspicious, are transforming the triple world as other worlds have been transformed in the past, and still other worlds will be transformed in the future. But in the perfect oneness of noble wisdom, there is no gradation, nor succession, nor effort. The 10th stage is the first. The first is 10th, 8th. The 8th is 5th. The 5th is 7th. What gradation can there be where perfect imagelessness and oneness prevail? So there is no gradation in that stage. From that point of view, there is no gradation. And what is the reality of noble wisdom? It is the ineffable potency of the Dharmakaya. It has no bounds nor limits. It surpasses all the Buddha lands and pervades the Akanishtha and the heavenly mansions of the Tusita. Tusita is one of heavens. So yoga is actually this one. Yoga is the journey from layman stage to first stage, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Yoga is journey from 0 to 10. And when we reach into that state, even on the journey, on the way only, the more we go ahead, the more powerful we become, the more blissful we become. We become mightier, mightier, mightier. After reaching the 10th stage, we become God. We become one with not only 10th, but at 9th stage only. Ninth and 10th are very close. Okay, so when you practice meditation, when you practice any kind of holistic practices, yoga, what you call yoga, then practice yoga from that perspective, not from layman perspective.
Right. Right.
Meditation, just upgrade, transcend, enter and at the 10th stage and live there. And when you are familiar with the stages, when we are familiar, then you reach there and we be there with that awareness. This is in our hands. If you want, we can just get lost. We can just get merged into the 10th stage within fraction of seconds. And if you don't want, then that may take years. And then we have to do all the works, all the actions, all the duties from that point of view. Then we will always feel that I'm supported by sustaining power of Buddha. And when you realize that me and Buddha both have become the one, there is no differences, okay, then you will manifest all the natures of true Buddha. Egolessness, imagelessness, non-possessiveness, kindness, compassion, selflessness will manifest. So long we have selfishness, we are self-centered, we are away from that state.